Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I want to share a personal story. This falls under the subject of never judge a book by its cover. It can cost you money. So anyway, my wife and I were in Orlando last week, and I had a good day. I just got to tell you, I had a good day. I did a presentation. It was 4 hours. It was kind of a presentation slash workshop. It was a good day. I was feeling real good. Other good news came in, and it was one of those great days where you just kind of look at your partner and go, you know what? Let's go celebrate. We're in Orlando. Let's go treat ourselves, right? I was in that treat yourself moment, right? So we said, let's go out and just buy ourselves something crazy. Not too crazy, but just crazy enough, right? So we're in Orlando, and so we go to this boutique shopping mall, right? And you can just tell it's very high end. And I'm like, yeah, this is where we need to be. We're going to celebrate. And I was looking to buy me something, right? And so I decided I wanted to buy me some shoes, right? I was looking for a pair of shoes, right? And we saw this boutique store, and I'm like, ooh, let's go in there because, I'm ready to buy. I mean, my credit card was ready to leap out of my pocket, if you know what I mean. So I walk in the door. Now, just to give you an idea, this store, I have to estimate that the shoes were probably around, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, maybe more. So these are going to be some expensive shoes. But you know what? I was in the treat yourself mode, right? And so sure enough, I walk into the boutique store. The gentleman that was right in front of the door had a beautiful suit on. He was talking to the other person there, some lady, right? They were co-workers. And he looks at me as soon as I walk through the door. Now, keep in mind, it's Orlando. It's after the event. I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I'm feeling good. I got some shorts on, some Lululemons. I got some Toms, some little canvas shoes on with no socks, and just a basic t-shirt, right? So I'm casual walking in. So I walk in. They stop talking. These two salespeople stop talking. The gentleman looks at me, literally, and then looks at my shoes first and then works his way up. I mean, he looked at me from toe to head, not head to toe, from toe to head, and he said something like, "Welcome to the store." And then he just kept talking to the salesperson. I'm like, oh, heck no. Oh, hell no. Did he just ignore me? He just looked at me, sized me up, and basically concluded that I wasn't worth his time. I mean, think about that. The guy just simply greeted me, looked at my shoes all the way up to my head and says, this guy's not worth my time, and continued on having that conversation. And in that moment, we'll call it the 5 to 7 second moment, he made a judgment call on me. But what he didn't realize is I made a judgment call on him, because when he did that to me, I still walked in, we checked out the store, and there were some nice looking shoes. I mean, there were some really nice shoes that I wanted to buy. But guess what? On principle alone, I could not buy. I would not buy from this store. And that guy just lost out on his commission check. Now, I don't know how much this guy gets paid, but, here's what kills me. If you're going to work in a store, one of the things we can't do is judge people. Now, I'll have to assume that this guy gets paid one of two ways. One, he gets paid by hour. So let's assume he makes $15 to $20 an hour, and I think I'm being generous. Or maybe he makes some commission on the side. All I can say is I know that he doesn't make more money than I do because he's working in the shoe store and I'm not. So who is he to judge? Now, the lesson here for him should be never judge a customer by their shoes. But here's the question to you listening to this podcast. How many times have you made a judgment call on your customers? Now think about that for a second. How many times have you made a judgment call, assumed that the customer couldn't afford it? I remember years ago, I read the book, and I apologize to the author because I don't remember. It was called The Millionaire Next Door. And when they talked about what the millionaire next door looked like, it wasn't that he dressed in an Armani suit, loved to wear Rolexes or some Audemars Piguet watches or some, expensive shoes. No. The average millionaire wears jeans, casual shirt, and drives, a regular truck or a pickup. In other words, they don't flash what they have. And so my question to you is, have you committed that mistake in the past? Psychologists call this the fundamental attribution error, right? That's when we attribute something to somebody just by visually looking at them. And so when you look at your customers, do you make that mistake? For example, if you're a car salesperson, how many times has somebody walked onto the lot and you kind of go, they don't look like they have any money? Or maybe you're selling to a homeowner, and maybe you're selling some landscaping or some hardscaping, or you're doing some remodeling, kitchen remodeling, and that's your business. And as you're driving up, you don't see a BMW in the driveway. You don't see a nice lawn. You think, they probably can't afford it. Or maybe you sell jewelry and somebody walks in with sandals, flip-flops, casual clothes, and you're thinking, they can't afford a $20,000, $25,000 watch. How many times have we made that mistake? See, I've learned many years ago, and again, the book, The Millionaire Next Door, go check it out, was the book that really highlighted for me that you should never judge a customer by what they wear, by how they look, or even how they speak. So the lesson to that salesperson is this. That guy, he looked to be about, I'm going to say 45 years of age, right? And I can now tell him, I wish I could tell him this. I said, my man, here's what I would tell him. If I could just go back in time, pull him aside and say, listen, man, let me tell you why you're always going to be working in a shoe store. Because you continue to make the fundamental attribution error. You continue to judge people by how they look. Never look into somebody's pockets. Always look into their eyes, so to speak. In other words, figure out what they really want. When somebody walks in a store, they're looking for something. They want to buy something. And when I walked through that door, I knew what things were going to cost. He should have looked at my eyes and not my shoes. So the lesson for this week is, don't judge a customer too quickly just because they don't have nice clothes. Maybe when you drive up to their house, they don't have a nice car, or maybe just simply by how they look or speak. Be careful, because we can lose a deal that quickly. It took that guy 5 to 7 seconds to judge me. It took me less than 5 seconds to say, I'm not buying from you. So keep that in mind. That's it for this Sales Influence Podcast. Don't forget to leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Let me know what you think. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, check out my online sales training platform if you haven't already, the Sales Mastery Academy. 26 courses, 300 plus videos. We just added a new one. Ooh, it's good. Also, you'll get access to all my books, including my latest one, Sales Ex Machina, which is how artificial intelligence is changing the world of selling. Anyway, if you're serious about increasing your sales ability, go to salesmasteryacademy.us. That's salesmasteryacademy.us. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, let's wait for the drop. Selling ain't hard when you know how. Take care. Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.